Lottery tickets for kids. It's August 16th, 2024, and these are your headlines. Millions of dollars of lottery tickets are being sold through websites and apps, raising concerns about the vulnerability of children to these sales. And this issue is highlighted during a review of the Texas Lottery Commission by the Sunset Advisory Commission, which evaluates state agencies and recommends efficiencies, changes, or even their abolishment sometimes. The Lieutenant Governor, President of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House each appoint 5 members from their respective chambers to the Sunset Commission. Each also appoints 1 public member. Well, during a recent hearing, representatives from the Texas Lottery Commission faced criticism for their seemingly lax approach towards the growing number of lottery courier companies. According to a staff report from the Sunset Commission, the Legislative Budget Board estimated that couriers accounted for approximately $173 million in lottery sales last fiscal year alone. Now, these unlicensed courier companies function as intermediaries, selling lottery tickets online to individuals while purchasing the tickets from licensed retailers. The nature of this business model leaves it open to potential misuse by minors, a concern raised by members of the commission to Ryan Mindell, who's the executive director of the Lottery Commission. Roger Ellswick, a public member of the Sunset Commission, questioned why the Lottery Commission had not sought opinions from the Attorney General. Instead, they've been relying on their own interpretation of the law. Robert Rivera, the chairman of the Lottery Commission, said that the Lottery Commission would look into best practices nationally and collaborate with law enforcement to address the issue. Additionally, commission members expressed concern that online courier services accept credit card payments, despite the fact that state law prohibits using credit cards for lottery ticket purchases. A newly released final contract between Texas A&M University, Texas A&M University at Qatar, and the Qatar Foundation reveals new information outlining the state-led Qatar Foundation role in research. The 2021 contract, which is obtained by Campus Reform, includes a new section called Research Areas that says the emphasis of the research program shall be on issues of interest to the state of Qatar and the research priorities of Qatar and the Qatar Foundation. Another section says the Qatar Foundation will provide high-level governance of the research program, including the strategic direction, scope, and priorities of the research program. Now, this contract was agreed to years before A&M would eventually consider closing the Qatar campus following questions by the Zahor Legal Institute about the Qatar Foundation's ties to the Qatari government and consequently the government's ties to terrorism. The contract also says the Qatar Foundation would approve research program plans and budgets. Now, the Texas A&M Qatar campus is set to close in 2028 after the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents voted to close it earlier this year.
America is at a crossroads. Now, more than ever, Texas must step up and lead the country. We don't have time to mess around. The only way to save America is with a strong Texas. You and I know this, but so do the enemies of life and liberty. Therefore, you and I have no choice but to stand up and fight. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and to the enemies of liberty, I say, come and take it.
A 19-year-old illegal alien accused of raping a Maryland resident has been arrested in Baltimore. Henry Argueta Tobar from Guatemala was first apprehended by U.S. Border Patrol in 2019 after he crossed into Texas at El Paso as an unaccompanied minor. He was then given an order to appear before an immigration judge from the U.S. Department of Justice. Well, 2 days after his arrest, Argueta Tobar's custody was transferred to Enforcement and Removal Operations in El Paso, which released him into the country on an order of recognizance while his case was processed. Well, on December 22nd, 2023, he was arrested again and charged with second-degree rape. 5 days later, an immigration detainer was levied against Argueta Tobar with the Charles County Detention Center in La Plata. However, the county detention center flouted the immigration detainer. He was released into the country on a reportedly unknown date. However, this past February, the DOJ ordered that he be deported and sent back to Guatemala. Argueta Tobar was apprehended once more and remains in custody. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.